morning and assalamu alaikum everybody. Good morning and assalamu alaikum everybody. Can you hear me? Walaikum salam beta. Walaikum salam. Okay. Okay, just give me a few seconds to admit all the students. Okay, class 10. If you remember, today you have a quiz as well. Today you have English quiz and I will upload your quiz after my class. And I hope you know the syllabus as well. First four tenses I have included for your second quiz that are present indefinite, present continuous, present perfect, and present perfect continuous tense. Four tenses I have included for your quiz number 2. After my class, inshallah, I will upload your quiz on Google Classroom. Okay, I think we should start the lecture now. So, today is our lecture number 22. Today is our lecture number 22 and date is 6th of August 2020. Just give me a second to admit students are joining the class. Okay, so what I was telling you, the students who have just joined me, let me repeat myself that today you have a quiz. And first four tenses I have included in the quiz that are present indefinite, present continuous, present perfect, and present perfect continuous tense. After my lecture, I will upload your quiz on Google Classroom. And now we are going to start the lecture. Today we have lecture number 22. Today we have lecture number 22 and date is 6th of August 2020. Okay, it's our lesson number 10. It's our lesson number 10. Okay, why I have written part 1? Because it's a poem and I have divided your lesson number 10, that is a poem. I have made 3 lectures of this one poem. Okay, basically I have divided the stanzas of this poem in 3 lectures. That is why they are divided like part 1, part 2, and part 3. This poem, Beautiful Hands, I have divided into 3 lectures. Lecture 1, part 1, lecture 2, part 2, and lecture 3, part 3. Okay, so it's our lesson number 10. Obviously, page number is 36, and the writer, the poet is Ellen M. H. Gates. One thing I want to remind you again that yesterday I also told you, and previously I told you that whenever you are going to do the poetry, whenever you are going to do the poem, it is understood that you have to write the poem in your journals. Before doing your literature work, before starting your written work, you have to write the poem in your journal. I'm repeating once again, that each and every assignment carries 10 marks. And indices, your title pages, and if you are doing a poetry, the poem must be in your journal. It's mandatory. All these things carry marks. By including all these things, your each and every assignment becomes of 10 marks. If you will not write a poem, you may lose your marks. Okay? So, when you will start doing the written work of this poem, the written work of this lesson number 10, first of all, you will write the poem in your journals. Okay? So it's lesson number 10, part 1, Beautiful Hands by Ellen M. H. Gibbs. Page number is 36. If you are having, ओके फौजिया मे बी बाय मिस्टेक ये मुझसे हो गया हो शॉर्ट नोट पोइम का नहीं होगा ओके इफ बाय मिस्टेक आई हैव रिटन शॉर्ट नोट ओवर देयर यू कैन रिमूव दैट शॉर्ट नोट उसको आप इरेज कर दीजिए बिकॉज मे बी टाइपिंग मिस्टेक हो गई हो या बाय मिस्टेक मुझसे टाइप हो गया हो बट देयर विल बी नो शॉर्ट नोट ओके इट इज अंडरस्टूड आई होप फौजिया डिड यू गेट मी okay so if you have purchased your book okay, it's good that you have asked. अच्छी बात है. Okay, if you have purchased your books, kindly open page number 36 of your book. Beta Harim, we don't have any lecture on Friday. English lecture, there is no English lecture on Friday. Thursday, this is the last lecture of this week. So you can do this work by Friday very easily because the assignment that I am going to upload after my lecture is very short. I have only included words meanings, title page and poetry. Only you are supposed to write poem in your journal and you have to make the title page and you have to write the words meanings and nothing else. So it's a very short assignment that you can do very easily by Friday or even Saturday as well. क्योंकि आपके पास 2 दिन है जर्नल सबमिट कराने के लिए फ्राइडे भी है और सैटरडे भी है वैसे तो on Thursday this is your last lecture of this week on Friday we don't have any lecture beta no sorry Harim I don't have any idea about other subject you can ask the other concerned teachers okay so first of all introduction of the poet. This poem is written by Ellen M. H. Gibbs, who was born in 1835 and died in 1920. She was born in Torrington, Connecticut, United States of America. She wrote religious songs. Okay, these religious songs are known as hymns. Okay, basically the pronunciation of HYMNS is hymns. Hymns. Okay, she wrote religious songs which are known as hymns, like The Home of the Soul and Eternity for well-known magazines. Collections of her poems were published in 1897 and 1910. Okay, what is important in this reference of the poet? First of all, obviously, name of the poet. The name of she is a female, so it means a poetess. Okay, this poem is written by Ellen M. H. Gate, and she was born in 1835 and died in 1920. She was born in Torrington, Connecticut, USA. She wrote religious songs, hymns like The Home of the Soul and Eternity for well-known magazines. Collections of her poems were published in 1897 and 1910. Okay, now you have to learn date of death, date of birth. Number two, name of place is also mentioned. She was born in Torrington, Connecticut, United States of America. Okay, what was basically his theme of writing? Basically, his theme of writing was a religion. Most of his poems were based on religious songs. Okay, so you can say she wrote many religious songs, hymns, and famous songs are The Home of the Soul and Eternity for well-known magazines. And when did her famous poems were published in magazines? They were published in 1897 and 1910. Okay, so you have to learn date of death, date of birth. Number two, place of birth. Number three, she wrote religious songs, hymns, and names of those religious songs are also mentioned. First one is The Home of the Soul, and second one is Eternity. And when these two poems were published, they were published in 1897 and 1910. Okay, so kindly learn all these 3 to 4 points, which are very important for the sake of MCQs, short question answers, and even for the reference of the poet as well. Okay, let's move forward. This was all about the poetess, introduction of the poetess. So now we have stanza number 1. Such beautiful, beautiful hands, they are neither white nor small, and you, I know, would scarcely think that they were fair at all. I have looked on hands whose form and hue a sculptor's dream might be. Yet are these aged, wrinkled hands most beautiful to me. Who can give me the answers about whose hands the poetess is talking about? Whose hands are being discussed in this poem? Who can give me the answer? Very good, Fozia. Yes, the hands, mother's hands. No, Amna, but beta, she's talking about mother's hands. Basically, the poetess is paying a tribute in the form of this poem because of the services rendered by her mother. Okay, in this poem, mother is paying a tribute to all the services which are rendered by her mother. This poem is basically kind of a tribute. Okay, this poem is kind of a token of love, thankfulness, and she is appreciating the hands of her mother because those hands always kept busy to make her child happy, to make her child successful in the society. Whatever the poetess is, whatever the status of poetess is in the society, this is all because of her mother. So, to pay a tribute to her mother, she has written this poem. Okay, this poem is basically a tribute of poetess to her mother because of the services, all the services which were rendered by her mother. Okay, so first of all, obviously, you should know the meanings of difficult words. First of all, scarcely. The meaning of scarcely means almost not, यानी कि बिल्कुल भी नहीं, ना होने के बराबर. Form and hue, it means shape and complexion. Sculptor, sculptor means an artist who makes statues by carving, by modeling. When they make a statues, they are known as sculptors. Okay, wrinkled. Wrinkled means crease due to age. In Urdu, wrinkled means churiya. Okay, churiya. And in English, it means crease due to age. So please, beta, see these words meanings very carefully. Scarcely means almost not, ना होने के बराबर. Form and hue means shape and complexion. Sculptor means an artist who makes statues, and wrinkled means trees due to age. Okay, if we talk about Urdu meanings, scarcely means तकरीबन ना होने के बराबर. फॉर्म एंड ह्यू से मुराद है किसी भी चीज़ की शक्ल सूरत और उसका रंग रूप. स्कल्पटर मैंने आपको बता दिया एक ऐसा आर्टिस्ट जो स्टैच्यूज बनाता है. रिंकल मीन्स झुर्रियाँ. ओके, सो Let's move towards the explanation of the poem. This is basically first stanza. I have included only first stanza in my today's lecture. I have divided this poem in three lectures by dividing the stanzas. So in this lecture, we will only do stanza number one. So I am going to explain you now explanation. Okay. These lines have been taken from the poem Beautiful Hands, written by an American poetess Ellen M. H. Gates. In this poem, poetess praises mother's hands for their spiritual beauty. According to her, mother's hands are symbol of love, sacrifice, labor, and affection for her children. The same thing that I have told you, basically, this poem is kind of a token of love, thankfulness, and you can say it's kind of a token of a symbol of love from poetess to her mother because of all the services which are rendered by her mother. Okay, so explanation. In these lines, poetess praises mother's hands for their spiritual beauty. She says that though these hands are neither fair nor small, and one would hardly think that they were beautiful ones. She says that she had seen the form and color of these hands. They were like dreams of an artist who makes statues. Though now these hands are old and full of furrows. Okay, furrows means wrinkles, churiya. But they are beautiful for her. Okay, now let's move towards the stanza. Okay, such beautiful, beautiful hands, they are neither white nor small. Okay, in these two lines, the writer, the poetess, is appreciating the beauty of her mother's hands. She is saying that the hands of my mother are neither white nor small, but she doesn't care at all about the physical appearance of her mother's hand. Basically, she is appreciating the spiritual beauty of her mother's hand. उसको इस चीज से कुछ भी लेना देना नहीं है कि उसकी माँ के हाथ गोरे हैं, काले हैं, छोटे हैं, बड़े हैं, देखने में कैसे हैं. She doesn't care at all because she has no importance for their physical beauty. उनकी ज़ाहिरी शक्ल सूरत की कोई इम्पोर्टेंस नहीं है उस पोइट्रेस की नज़रों में. Basically, she is paying importance to the spiritual beauty of her mother's hand. स्पिरिचुअली उन हाथों ने जो कुछ किया है अपनी औलाद के लिए, अपनी बेटी के लिए, दोज ब्यूटीफुल हैंड. नो प्रॉब्लम हरीम बेटा. ओके, सो शी डजेंट केयर एट ऑल कि मेरी माँ के हाथों की शक्ल सूरत कैसी है, रंग रूप कैसा है. शी इज appreciating her mother's hand because of not their physical appearance but their spiritual beauty. Spiritual beauty ये है कि what were the jobs, what were the works done by those hands to make her child happy, to make her child successful in the society. Okay, and you, I know, would scarcely think that they were fair at all. अब वो हमसे मुखातिब है. She is talking to us. She is saying that कि हमने भी शायद भी कभी ये बात सोची होगी कि हमारी माँ के हाथ कभी खूबसूरत थे, देखने में खूबसूरत थे, हमने ना होने के बराबर. That is why she has used the word scarcely, not, almost not. बहुत ना होने के बराबर हमने कभी इस बात के बारे में सोचा होगा कि our mother's hands are beautiful in their physical appearance. They are fair, they are small. अच्छा, यहाँ पे white और small इसलिए यूज किया गया है because these are the parameters of beauty. अगर हम कहें कि हमारी माँ के हाथ छोटे थे और सफ़ेद रंग के थे, गोरे थे, तो ये खूबसूरती के पैमाने में आएगा कि हमारी माँ के हाथ देखने में खूबसूरत थे. बेसिकली वाइट और स्मॉल जो है ना, these two characteristics or these two adjectives are पैरामीटर्स ऑफ ब्यूटी। किसी की खूबसूरती को नापने के लिए जो दो पैमाने यहाँ पे राइटर ने यूज किए हैं, द कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स दैट राइटर हैज यूज्ड, they are white and small. If the hands are white and small, it means they are beautiful. But the writer is saying, including me and you. वो अपने बारे में भी बात कर रही है और हमारे बारे में भी बात कर रही है कि we hardly have thought about it, about the physical appearance of our mother's hand. आपने भी, अगर आप लोग भी अपने आप को रख के सोचें पोइटिस की जगह पे, क्या कभी आप लोगों ने इस बारे में सोचा होगा कि कभी हम सोचें कि हमारी माँ के हाथ कैसे हैं? नो, वी डोंट केयर एट ऑल about the physical beauty of our mother's hands. Why? Because we don't care, because we are thankful to our mother, because because of all the services that she had paid and she is still paying. ऐसा नहीं है कि अब वो सर्विसेज खत्म हो गई है. शी इज स्टिल rendering, she is still paying all those services to make us happy, to make us glad, and to make us a successful citizen, a successful human being in the society. So I have looked on hands whose form and hue a sculptor's dream might be. Now again the writer is talking about the physical appearance of her mother's hand. वो कह रही है कि क्या पता किसी ज़माने में मेरी माँ के हाथ इतने खूबसूरत थे कि वो किसी स्कल्पटर का ड्रीम थे. I have told you the meaning of sculptor here, an artist who makes statues. The writer is saying here, maybe the hands of my mother were as beautiful as they were dream of any artist to make a statue of those hands. कि वो इतने खूबसूरत थे देखने में, इतने खूबसूरत थे देखने में कि क्या पता वो किसी आर्टिस्ट का ख्वाब हो कि वो उनको बनाए with the help of a statue. Okay, but writer is saying again, for me these form and hue don't matter at all, because my mother is a sculptor for me, my mother is an artist for me. Why she is an artist for me? Because she had made me. उसने मुझे बनाया है, अपनी औलाद को बनाया है, एक खूबसूरत इंसान, एक कामयाब इंसान जो इस सोसाइटी में एक सक्सेसफुल जिंदगी गुजार रहा है. सो फॉर मी माई मदर इज एन आर्टिस्ट, फॉर मी माई मदर इज अ स्कल्पटर who makes me. I am the product of my mother. I am a successful person in the society if I am living a happy life, a successful life, a fruitful life in my life, in this society. It means that I am the product of my mother. My mother is my artist who made me. Okay, so yet are these aged wrinkled hands most beautiful to me. And she is again saying that because of the age, the hands of my mother are wrinkled now. Wrinkles are there on my mother's hands, but for me, they are the most beautiful hands in the world. I don't care at all. The hands of my mother are old now. They are having wrinkles now. They have now having dark color. They are not having a beautiful shape. I don't care at all. But मेरे लिए तो ये दुनिया के खूबसूरत हाथ हैं, क्योंकि ये वो हाथ हैं जिन्होंने सारी जिंदगी मेरे लिए काम किया. ये वो हाथ हैं जिन्होंने सारी जिंदगी मुझे खुश किया. ये वो हाथ हैं जिन्होंने अपनी सारी जिंदगी गुजार दी मुझे कामयाब बनाने में. Okay, so this poem is a you can say token of love, thankfulness from poetess to her mother, to all the services which are rendered by, and still the mother is rendering those services. ऐसा नहीं है कि अब वो services खत्म हो गई हैं. Still the mother is busy. If we talk about own mothers, आप लोग अपनी माँ की बात करें, मैं अपनी माँ की बात करूँ. If we talk about our mothers, they are still busy to make us happy, to make something good for us, to मतलब for example जैसे अब आप लोग ने स्कूल आना है, she is the responsible one. कि आपको उठाएंगी, जगाएंगी, आपके लिए ब्रेकफास्ट रेडी करेंगी, आपको तैयार करने में हेल्प करेंगी, और फिर आप जब स्कूल से घर पहुंचोगे आपके लिए लंच रेडी है, आपके कपड़े रेडी है. Who is doing all these things? Obviously, our mothers are doing. And why they are doing these things? Obviously, they want us to be a successful person in the society. अगर हम लोग आगे चल के आप लोग ऐसे ऐसे प्रोफेशंस अपनाते हो, इंशाल्लाह आप जैसे कोई डॉक्टर बन रहा है, कोई इंजीनियर बन रहा है, कोई किसी और अच्छी फील्ड में जा रहा है, तो यू आर द प्रोडक्ट ऑफ योर मदर. Behind your successfulness is your mother. Okay, this is all because of the role of your mother. This is all because of the services of your mother. Okay, so the beautiful hands means mother itself. तो mother herself, माँ की ही बात हो रही है. स्पेसिफिकली माँ का ही रोल डिस्कस हो रहा है इस पूरी पोइट्री में, इस पूरे स्टेंजा में. ठीक है, तो writer is saying in first stanza that she doesn't care at all about the physical appearance of her mother's hand. Either they are small, they are beautiful, she doesn't care at all. But for her, who is what is more important? The spiritual beauty of hands of her mother is the most important thing for the poetess. Okay? So she is saying that basically mothers might be tired or sad because they keep on working to make their children glad. Their hands never take rest. हमारी माओ के हाथ मतलब कि हमारी माएँ. Our mothers never take rest. They are still busy, keep themselves busy to make us happy, to make us glad. Basically, she is praises her mother and all the mothers in this world in general. She is paying and appreciating the services rendered by the mother to bring up their children. We all know that mothers bear a lot of hardships for their children. So that is why they are worthy of our praise, our love, and our respect. Okay, our mothers do a lot of work for us, and they look after us very patiently. बहुत सब्र और तहम्मुल के साथ वो हमें हमारी परवरिश करती हैं, हमें तैयार करती हैं सोसाइटी के लिए कि हम आगे चल के उस सोसाइटी के लिए एक पॉजिटिव रोल प्ले कर सकें. I hope this stanza is clear. Any confusion in the explanation of this stanza? You can ask me. Hurry up. Any confusion? Hurry up, beta. If any confusion, you can ask me. Anybody else? Anybody else? Okay. Most of the students are just joining me. I don't know why you people are not punctual at all. पता नहीं आप लोग वक्त की पाबंदी क्यों नहीं करते. When the teacher is here on time, जब टीचर को ये बात पता है कि मेरी 8 बजे क्लास है और मैं अगर अपनी क्लास लेने के लिए ऑन टाइम आ रही हूँ, why you people are not doing this? The meaning of sculptor is an artist who makes statues. See, the meaning of sculptor is an artist who makes statues. Okay, by carving, by modeling. Okay, so let's move forward. I have explained you the explanation of the first stanza. I have given you the meanings of difficult words. Okay, you people are going to answer me this question now. In first stanza, the poetess praises the hands for their spiritual beauty. What words or phrases tell us that they are not pretty in the physical sense? Who can give me the answer? Basically, in first stanza, the poetess praises the hands of her mother in the sense of their spiritual beauty. But what were the phrases that tell us, what are the phrases that are used by the poetess which give us that idea that our mother's hands are not beautiful physically. फिजिकल सेंस में कैसे हमें पता चलेगा कि हमारी माँ के हाथ देखने में खूबसूरत है? वेरी गुड निशा, नीदर वाइट नॉर स्मॉल। और इसके अलावा other than this, what are the other phrases? Very good. Okay, let me tell you the answer now. Let's move towards the stanza. Okay, see, these are the phrases which are used by the poetess, which give us an idea that the physical appearance of her mother's hands are not good. For example, neither white nor small, fair at all. Okay, fair at all. ठीक है, गोरा रंग या साफ सुथरे देखने में, ठीक है, वेरी गुड। ओके, एक तो ये है नीदर वाइट नॉट स्मॉल, फिर उसके बाद फेयर एट ऑल, एंड द लास्ट वन इज एजेड wrinkled hand. Okay, aged wrinkled hand. Basically, there are three phrases in first stanza are used by the poetess, which tell us that the hands of our mother or the poetess mother are not physically beautiful or beautiful in their appearance. The first one is neither white nor small, then fair at all, and the last one is aged wrinkled hand. Okay, so theme. What is the theme of this poem? The theme of this poem can be expressed in the words of Napoleon that अच्छा नेपोलियन के कहे गए कुछ sayings हैं, कुछ quotations हैं which covered up the theme of the poem. अगर हम ये दो sayings लिख दें और quotations लिख दें, they will cover up all the theme of the poetry. First one is give me good mothers, I will give you good nation. Okay, give me good mothers, I will give you good nation. Or the hands that rocks the cradle is the hand that rules the world. ये basically this is another poem in your book. Okay, the hands that rocks the cradle is the hand that rules the world. Basically वो हाथ जो हमारे झूला झुलाते हैं वही हाथ है जो इस दुनिया में हुक्मरानी कर रहे हैं, यानी कि if you are leading a successful life in the society, if you are having a good profession in your life, you are paying a you are living a fruitful life, आप सोसाइटी को भी फायदा पहुंचा रहे हो, खुद भी एक अच्छी जिंदगी गुजार रहे हो, behind all these success your mother is there, the prayers of your mothers are there, the hardships, the sacrifices, the love, affection, care of your mother are behind your सक्सेस. आपकी इन तमाम कामयाबियों के पीछे आपकी मदर है, आपकी माँ है. ओके, और नेपोलियन ने कहा गिव मी गुड मदर्स आई विल गिव यू गुड नेशन. नाउ सी how important role is played by a mother. If the mothers are good, nations will be good. So a very heavy kind of responsibility is on the shoulders of the mothers. ऐसे थोड़ी कहा जाता है कि माँ के कदमों तले जन्नत है. Because of all these services which are rendered by our mothers, due to all these services, she is our heaven, वो हमारी जन्नत है, उनके कदमों के नीचे हमारी जन्नत है. So this is a very you can say a very important saying by Napoleon that give me good mothers, I will give you good nation. Okay, to build up any nation, mothers play an important role, the basic role to build up a nation or to spoil any nation. Okay, you are and I, we are basically the products of our mother. हमारा उठना बैठना चलना फिरना बात करना मैनर्स एटिकेट्स ये सब हमें बताता है कि हमारी तरबियत कैसे की गई. बेटा आप लोग जब स्कूल में टीचर्स के साथ मिसबिहेव करते हो, यू बिहेव रूडली विद द टीचर्स बिकॉज ऑफ योर मिसकंडक्ट, आप यही बात हम लोग आपको टीचर्स हमेशा समझाती है कि डोंट यू हैव द मैनर्स, डोंट यू हैव द एटिकेट, डोंट यू रिस्पेक्ट द टीचर। दीज आर द बेसिकली थिंग्स दैट टेल अस कि आपकी तरबियत कैसी है। जाहिर है दुनिया में कोई भी माँ ऐसी नहीं है जो ये चाहती हो कि मेरी बच्चे की तरबियत खराब हो या मेरा बच्चा अपने उस्तादों के साथ, अपने उस्ताद के साथ बदतमीजी से पेश आए या स्कूल में कोई बुरी हरकत करे। कोई भी माँ ये नहीं चाहती है। एवरी मदर वॉन्ट्स कि हमारा बच्चा अच्छा रहे, इखलाक, एटिकेट्स, मैनर्स, अपब्रिंगिंग अच्छी है। तभी हम लोग आपको कहते हैं कि बेटा जो जो जिस तरीके से आप लोग स्कूल में बिहेव करते हो, यही चीज़ हमें बताती है कि आपकी तरबियत कैसी की गई, आप लोग किस किस्म की फैमिली से बिलोंग करते हो। दिस इज व्हाट नेपोलियन सेड, गिव मी गुड मदर्स आई विल गिव यू गुड नेशन। इफ यू आर बिहेविंग इन अ गुड मैनर, so you will show the upbringing and the care which is done by your mother। आप बेसिकली अपनी माँ को रिप्रेजेंट कर रहे हो हमारे सामने कि हमारी माँ ने हमें कितना अच्छा बनाया है, कि हम आपके साथ इतने प्यार से पेश आ रहे हैं, हम आपके साथ इतनी इज्जत के साथ पेश आ रहे हैं, हम एटिकेट्स और मैनर्स शो करें। These are basically the characteristics which are telling us about the services paid by your mother। इसीलिए आप लोगों से बार बार कहा जाता है कि बिहेव वेल इन स्कूल, ताकि आप ये चीज़ बता सको दूसरों को कि आप एक अच्छी फैमिली से आए हो, आपकी माँ ने एक अच्छा इंसान बना के भेजा आप। ओके, आई होप आई एम क्लियर। अच्छा, any confusion, any problem? Once again, the students who have joined me late, for them I am again telling you that today you have a quiz, okay? And I have included first four tenses in the quiz: present indefinite, present continuous, present perfect, and present perfect continuous. After my lecture, I am going to upload your quiz on Google Classroom, and you have to do that quiz. And I hope everybody has written the attendance as well. Nobody's left. Everybody has written the attendance. Hurry up. Hurry up, beta. We are left with 2 minutes more. Okay. Now you have to tell me, is there any confusion or problem in the answer of that question, in words meanings, or in the theme? If you wanna ask anything, you can ask. Any question regarding your assignments, regarding your quiz, you can ask me, beta. As you know that Friday and Saturdays are the days to give me your literature journals for checking, and you will take your language journals back. Then inshallah next week we will start doing the language assignments, because you will have your language journals with you. Okay. So I hope everything is clear to you now. Now your responsibility is to read this poem. That is why I have included only first stanza in this poem, because it will be easier for you to prepare it, to learn the meanings of the difficult words, to learn about the introduction of the poetess and explanation of the poem, explanation of the stanza. Okay, but please do practice about the explanation of the stanza. It is very important. It can be given to you in the form of question answers कि आपको कोई भी दो लाइन्स उठा के दे दी जाएंगी, any two verses, and you will be supposed to write the explanation of those verses. Okay, so till next week, take very good care of yourself. Stay home, stay safe. Thank you, and Allah Hafiz.